So there is another question by one of the reader, and the answer to this question, before I answered this question, let's read the question on the screen. It says, which contains paging information, PDCCH or PDSCH? So great question from the reader Suraj. So now this question, I would say this question can get tricky and can be asked by a lot of people. And then when you answer this question, you need to be explicit in explaining that what specific difference you are referring to over here specifically. Meaning paging information comes in both. Now depending on, in order to paging information comes in both of these channels. Now you have to be very clear when you're explaining this, which channel brings paging information. Let me just elaborate in the slide or in the diagram itself. The indication of paging comes on PDCCH channel. Indication of paging comes on this channel, whereas the actual contents which arrive for the UE as a result of paging comes on PDSCH channel. Actual contents. So what do I mean by this? Meaning when a UE is paged or any user is being paged, how UE will know that it is being paged? It finds that out by reading PDCCH channel or physical downlink control channel. Whereas once UE is sure that it is being paged, now where does it go to find the actual information which it is receiving as a result of paging? That information arrives in PDSCH. So in order to answer this question, what you need to answer is, if someone is asking which contains paging information, then you say both the channels contain paging information. The actual signaling or actual control information that a user has been paged will come into PDCCH. Let me elaborate this answer in the next slide as well, or in next diagram over here. So let's say this is a user over here, and then let's say this is base station over here, and then the paging information comes from the core network. So let's say over here this is core network. So as we know, a UE, when it is being paged, or in reality what happens is this E node B is continuously broadcasting these radio frames, right? So when these radio frames are being broadcasted, so how UE will know if it is being paged or not? Whenever it wakes up, it is going to go and read these radio frames. So what happens is, since you know by the concept of radio frame, each radio frame has different subframes. So let's say this is subframe 0, this is subframe 1, ... all the way up to subframe number 10, 0 to 9, meaning total 10 subframes. Now if you look in each subframe, when a UE is going to go into details, let's say it has to wake up in this subframe, then UE will go into control region. As you know, each subframe has a control region and data region. So let's say this is control region over here, and then the next one is data region. This one is data region. And in control region, UE, how UE will know if it is being paged or not? UE, whenever it wakes up, it goes and check PDCCH channel, and on PDCCH channel, UE needs to find out PRNTI, which stands for Paging Radio Network Temporary Identifier. So if UE finds this PRNTI value, this will just indicate to the UE that someone is being paged. Now actually which UE is being paged, so on and so forth, that information UE will find out ultimately when it will go on to PDSCH channel, and PDSCH channel is in the data region. So after reading this PRNTI, UE will go on to PDSCH channel, and the actual user which is being paid and the contents will come on to PDSCH channel. So to answer the question again in an elaborate way is, which particular channel contains paging information? The actual indication that someone is being paged will come on to PDCCH, and the contents of that paging and the user which is being paged, that information explicitly will come on to PDSCH channel or physical downlink shared channel. So that should give you a firm understanding and information that both the channels are involved. In which context they are involved, that is something which is tricky, and you need to be clear about it if someone asks this question, and also in your concepts as well. Thank you.